Hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass. I hope you're staying healthy and staying inside if you're here in the UK during this COVID-19 lockdown. In fact, wherever you are in the world, I hope you are staying healthy and probably staying inside. It is a strange old time that we are living in. Anyway, right now you find me sitting inside the Mini Clubman JCW, John Cooper Works, which I was lent by Mini UK at the end of last year for 6 months. Unfortunately, sadly, my time with this car is almost over. I don't exactly know when it's going to go back to Mini because of the whole COVID-19 crisis, but I think the official date was supposed to be late April, early May, and I've absolutely loved my time with this car. It has been fantastic, but the last couple of weeks it's been parked outside my house here in London, gathering dust used for the odd emergency necessity trip to the supermarket, but I've been kind of walking most of the time. So yeah, it's been kind of pointless, and it's such a frustration because if you watched my garage update at the beginning of the year, you'll know I had lots of plans with this car. I wanted to get out to Wales, I wanted to do a little Euro road trip, just lots of different things, maybe even head up to the North Coast 500, but I just haven't had a chance. Instead, it's been used as a true daily. In fact, the majority of the miles in this car have been back and forth to IKEA because I moved into a new place and moved into the behind the glass studio. I was just endlessly furniture shopping, and this thing can take so much furniture in the back. I've just been shocked by how practical this Clubman has been. I have genuinely fallen in love with it. But a few weeks ago, just before lockdown got put in place, like literally the day before lockdown got put in place, I took it for one last blip because I wasn't sure if I was going to get the chance again in this car or any car to drive on an open road for quite a bit of time. So yes, it was a beautiful day like today, and I went out to try to experience this car in sport mode for the first time, really, because the majority of the miles that I've done in it, which is about 4,500 miles, have been in and around central London. So yes, today we're going back in time a few weeks ago, like so many of my videos, to experience this car out on the open road and for me to tell you what it has been like to live with. I hope you enjoy. I really feel like the unsung hero of the British road, because the amount of these cars you see around and about England, Wales, Scotland and Ireland is just, it's mind-boggling in every shape and form. You definitely don't stand out of the crowd when you're in a Mini, especially parking in London. I feel like every third car on a street is some form of Mini. But what I quite like is then you get kind of what's called Mini appreciation. So other Mini owners look at you with envy, going, ooh, he's got the new Clubman JCW. What a baller, as I'm cruising around in my Cooper D from 2010. So it's like this sort of in-group of sort of nods. It's obviously not supercar kind of appeal, where people are staring at you aghast. It's a subtle like, I like what you've done there. Congratulations. But anyway, as I say, today is about performance. And yes, this thing has quite outrageous performance. Step forward from the previous Clubman JCW. We are up nearly 100 horsepower. It's now over 300 horsepower being put out from the same 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder that you find in the BMW M135i. Mate that with the all-4 4-wheel drive system, and we're doing 0 to 60 sub 5 seconds, people. Sub 5 seconds. I think my 360 struggles to do 0 to 60 sub 5 seconds sometime. This thing is just mucho rapido. When you're in sport mode, which is just a very sort of, well, innocuous button down here by my left knee, suddenly the thing shouts and gargles and snarls. My heads-up display turns to this quite, I just think racy rev counter. I get shift lights. It's all definitely about driving and driving fast, which I always say, hot hatches, and there we go, here's my argument, is this a hot hatch, are the best cars for English roads. Because I don't think there are many cars that could get away from me today. I genuinely feel that quick. And maybe it is the all-wheel drive system, or maybe it's the fact that it's kind of low and small and I can just throw it around. But it's just such a confidence-inspiring speed. Maybe a worryingly confidence-inspiring speed, because before you know it, you are doing big numbers. But it's not all about the straight line, because this thing does actually handle, I would say, arguably quite well for what is, you know, a bigger hot hatch. I still don't know what to call it. Hot Mini Estate. There's the new title. It goes round a corner, and it goes round a corner well. So you can start to throw this thing about. And what I love is you can throw this thing about with people in the back and all of IKEA. Literally all of it. I mean, earlier I was doing a bit of an experiment. I have my parents' dogs in here. Heck, I had my sister in the boot at one point. She was very comfy. So it's not just a 5-seater, this thing. It's probably a 7-seater once you start illegally bundling people into the boot. So yes, if you are in the kidnapping business, don't knock Clubman JCW. Whilst you may have been looking at something a little bit bigger, I think you could get away with one of these little cars and get the nods from the yummy mummies. But that's a question, isn't it? Who is the sort of target customer for one of these cars? Maybe me, because you want something which is usable and fun, practical and sporty, whilst not being overstated. And I know right now, if Tony from Gravelwood Car Sales is here, he'd be going, well, yeah, just get a Golf R Estate, mate. But the Golf R's never quite done it for me, because it's not got enough personality. And I feel like this car has tons of personality. Now that can rub you up the wrong way. Sorry if that's a slightly inappropriate saying, but it's just the sense that everything about the Mini is kind of put together to be different, to be quirky. And so either you're going to love it or you hate it. And I've mentioned before the fact that I've never really been a fan of the interior design. A bit like BMW, it hasn't really advanced over the years. So it is iconically Mini, but it's just all a little bit gimmicky, I would say. Maybe that's harsh, but everything is very functional. I have to say the infotainment system is very good. I have that talk button like you get in some of the other Bimmers, because obviously, as we know, Mini owned by BMW Group, and it is functional. I could literally push that button and say, play BBC Radio 1, and it actually does 9 out of 10 times. So I've liked that. Heated seats, start, stop button, all these elements. The actual navigation system is quite easy to use, and you can Apple CarPlay via Bluetooth rather than just having to plug in a USB. So the functionality is great, and I think that's, you know, where a Golf R, or I'm trying to think what the equivalent is, a CLA 45, is that the newest things? Whilst they are arguably just as quick and maybe sometimes quicker, firstly, they're a little bit more expensive. Secondly, I don't think they have that kind of Mini credibility, that kind of like, oh yeah, Mini, I'm a little bit different, I'm a little bit cool, a little bit fun, and I'm also really, really quick. This is the same engine that is appearing in the new Mini GP, so you cannot knock it. And whilst 4 cylinders can sound a little bit dead, and I have complained about the noise of this particular car before, you know what, it is what it is. Every now and again you get a bit of a pop and a crackle out of the exhaust, and I really like that it's every now and again. How many cars these days are just constantly blah, 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 blah. I don't want that. I want to be surprised and go, ooh, wasn't that fruity? So I appreciate the fact that it kind of catches me off guard. It's the same with the startup. On a particularly cold day, or just when I'm just coming back to the car from the supermarket, there we go. It just out of nowhere. Doesn't do it every time. I'm so impressed by this car, so impressed, and I'm genuinely going to be quite gutted to see it go. So much so that I've been on the configurator quite a lot recently. Now the thing is, whilst this car does come in under the equivalent value of its rivals, so £36,000 this car starts at, that is still quite a lot, isn't it? It's big money. I mean, when I do get on that configurator, I'm usually at the kind of 40k mark before I kind of know. And that seems like quite a substantial cash in. When you think of what you could buy maybe in the sort of 1 or 2 year old mark, and you're talking about a step up. So RS4s, C43s, big boy estates, it's suddenly like, that Clubman's seeming quite pricey. But it is priced well for the market. So maybe that's just the age we're living in. Maybe I just need to realise if I want a car that's nice, I'm going to have to spend that kind of money. Anyway, either way, I would have to say that this car is great. One thing I want to mention, Harman Kardon system. A lot of you will know I worked with Harman Kardon last year, so I'm going to be a little bit biased because I love the guys there. But my God, it's been great. You really can pump the music in this little car and it sounds amazing, which makes the long journeys even more enjoyable. Look at this now, I'm overtaking Fords, flying around the B roads, having a wicked time. To be isolated in a car like this really isn't that bad, people. I will have to say, it really isn't that bad. The fact that I then can come out of sport mode, even go into green mode, and just chill with my music, with potentially my dogs or my sister in the boot and a ton of other stuff, I think is win-win. So yes, there's my kind of, well, I would almost call it a midway update on my time with the Clubman JCW, but it's kind of approaching the end. I don't know exactly how much longer I've got the keys to this car. It just looks good. Every time I get out of this thing, I'm like, yeah, it's a good looking car, even when it gets dirty. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and make sure you stay subscribed for plenty more videos to come.